Okay, it's recording. And once again, welcome to our Admitted International Student webinar. Today's panel is about international student success. So today we'll be discussing about resources and support system that exist here at Center and the personnel and the folks behind these support and resources to help international students succeed in their endeavors, whether it's in the classroom or whether it's outside of the classroom. So we have a number of staff members here who are in these resources and support networks, and I'll let them introduce themselves. First of all, my name is Joy Joy. I am the Associate Director of International Recruitment, and once again, congratulations on your admission to Center. And with that, I am gonna popcorn it over to Karen to introduce herself.
Hello, my name is Karen Tubb. I'm the Assistant Director of the Center Learning Commons, which we'll be talking about shortly. I've been at Center for 12 years and I also teach French. Jessica.
Hello, I'm Jessica Leonard. I'm the Associate Director in Center Global for International Student Services. So we'll get to know each other a lot, probably in your 4 years or possibly beyond at Center. So welcome today. And then Anne.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anne Goodwin. I'm the Associate Dean for Student Wellbeing and the Director of our Mental Health Counseling Office. And my office is in the Student Life Office. And Student Life is a lot of the things outside of academics and outside of the classroom. So we can share more about that later.
All right. Thank you, Karen, Jessica, and Anne for your introductions. Now that you know a little bit about these people, we'll get started with today's panel. So here at Center, we want to make sure that all of our students are able to succeed in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom, because you have to be well as an individual person before you can succeed in the classroom as well. So I've listed out a couple of the resources that we offer here to our international students here. And we won't go into details about each one of these. I just want all of you all to get a sense of what are being offered here to help you succeed. And we'll talk about some of these things, right, in different categories. But I just want you to get a sense of what they are here. So starting with international student services, this is what Jessica manages and help with. So the first question is for Jessica. Jessica, could you tell us a little bit about your specific role and how you support international students during their time at Center?
Sure, thanks, Joy. I really start helping students really once you're admitted and deposited. So kind of beginning with the immigration document process, giving you your I-20 that you'll need to apply for your F1 visa. And then throughout your time at Center, I mean, you're transitioning from high school to college, and you're also transitioning from living abroad in your home country to here in the US. So trying to helping you both with that academic and also that kind of outside of academics transition. And then if you go on to graduate school or if you go on to employment authorization after Center, we kind of help you with that kind of transfer or that document process as well.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jessica. And obviously, there are many services and assistance that you provide to our international students here. And sometimes, a lot of times, you are supporting them even before they step foot on campus. So, could you maybe share a little bit about the process of bringing international students on campus, from providing immigration document services to organizing international student orientation with the international student orientation leaders? What is that process like?
Yeah, so excitingly, we do have our application for our international student orientation leaders, often called our ISOLs or ISOLs. And so they're applying right now. Those are our rising sophomores, juniors, and seniors. You know, some are international students themselves, some are domestic students, and they will really be helping you in that like first week that you're here on campus. And then, of course, throughout the summer, you know, we'll kick off with getting you your I-20, but then we'll host some other Zoom sessions so that you can get to know the other new students, in particular, the other new international students. and then kind of gear up to welcome you here on campus.
Thank you, Jessica. I know this wasn't one of the questions that I have sent before, but are there anything that you want to share about some of these things that are on the presentation slides, especially when it comes to either mentoring program or host family programs that we offer to our international students here?
Yeah, I think I'll highlight kind of the host family program. So usually in August, right before you get here, we will send an email, kind of a survey out to you and also to potential Danville or Center community members. Someone that wants to get to know you, an international student, and maybe you who wants to get to know a local family or or it could be just a single person, right? Someone who has an interest in kind of wanting to better have a cultural exchange, right? Some of our families are interested in language, right? They're interested in traveling abroad. Maybe they studied abroad when they were a student, and so they kind of have a connection perhaps to your country, and they want to kind of further that, right? So they'll host you most of the time. You don't live with the family, so the host part is a little bit of a misnomer, I guess. But you will often meet these families for just coffee and tea, dinner. If they have children, sometimes they'll invite you to go trick or treating for Halloween. So you get to know kind of American holidays, but then also just kind of like American family life with some of our Center or Danville community members.
Wonderful. I know many of our international students have enjoyed being part of the host family program, and they have found friendship outside of center that way. So, yeah. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing all of that. Are there anything else that you want to share before we move on to, I think, Erin?
I'll just say thank you for joining today's session, and I look forward to meeting you all soon.
Thank you, Jessica. And of course, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. We'll have time for a Q&A. So it's not just us telling you all about these things. You'll have an opportunity to ask your questions as well. So we'll get to that soon. So the next one is academic support. So obviously academics are very important here at Center, and we want to make sure that all of you have all the academic resources and support that you can get to be successful students here. So this question's for Karen. Karen, what are some of the academic support and resources available for our international students? And this is a two-parter. So how can these students access these resources to succeed here?
So we have lots of different services available for academic support. As you can see on the slide, we do have one-to-one academic advising. You will be assigned an academic advisor that will help you select courses, plan out your courses for your whole 4 years. Jessica also will be helping you with that. We also have specific ESL support. So I meet with students one-on-one for academic support. I help you with general academic things like time management and study skills, and figuring out maybe how to do academic reading, if maybe that's something that you struggle with. So I will meet with you one-on-one. If you so desire, you can make an appointment with me using a software called Navigate, which you will learn more about later. And that is also the software that you would use to find peer tutors who would help you with academic content. So if you're taking a statistics class, for example, or a religion course, or anything like that, and you need specific help with that content, we have peer tutors that do 2 different kinds of tutoring: group sessions, where you can go at a specific time and they're just available waiting for you to come. They'll help you, or whoever else comes. And then we also have one-on-one tutoring that's available, and you can also schedule those appointments using that same app that I mentioned, Navigate. Specifically for first-year students, we also have something called Find Your Center, which is what we refer to as FYC, which is a course that all first-year students take, not just international students, but all first-year students take it. It happens once a week for your first semester, and it's just a course to help you sort of get oriented to the campus and the support services and resources that we have available to you. You will have just like Jessica's mentors, you will also have first-year mentors that'll be available to you. You can text them with questions, and they are hired to help you with that first term, to help you transition from high school to college. And additionally, we also have, where I work in the Learning Commons, peer mentors that are there specifically for ESL students to help you with just adjusting to life in a different country and having the academic struggles that are really specific to students that aren't native English speakers. So we have lots of different avenues that you can take advantage of. And I'm looking at the list here on the screen. I also want to highlight that we have the Writing Center, where we have in the evenings students that are available, I think, every night except for maybe Friday or Saturday, students that are available to help you with writing. And that's not just for papers, but that's for projects and presentations. They will help you with coming up with a thesis. They will also help you with how to structure your paper, but they will also help you with grammar. And if you need extra special help, I can help you with that as well. And lastly, we have accessibility services. So if you have a learning disability, you can come to our office. It's on the main floor of the library, just so you know, and you can show us the documentation. We will help you set up classroom accommodations that you'll communicate out to your professors. I think that covers it. Next question.
Thank you, Karen. I think that was very comprehensive coverage of it. And of course, you as a center student will also have your academic advisors that are yours, right? And as a center student, you have two faculty advisors that will be assigned to you during your 4 years here at center. And the first academic advisor is going to be assigned to you even before you step foot on campus as a first-year student. So your first year academic advisor will be there to advise you on, what classes to register for, what classes to take, how to register for classes, all that fun stuff. They will help you consult with those things during your first and second year. And by the time you declare your major at the end of your second year or your sophomore year, you get a second faculty advisor and they become your major advisor. So in addition to all of these academic support and resources that you have, don't forget that you also have your academic advisors who are there to help you with your academic journey. And of course, professors, they're wonderful. Whatever classes you're taking, they're always have their doors open for you during office hours and they can help you out as well. So yeah. Karen, I have another question for you, and you briefly mentioned this because you said you are part of the Center Learning Commons. So could you share a little bit about what that is and yeah, and how international students can utilize the resources that are offered through CLC?
Yes, so I briefly mentioned we are located on the main floor of the library. So we don't necessarily have a physical space. It's sort of sprinkled out around the library space, and we share that space with the library. But we have all the services that you see listed here on the slide. And I work on that floor along with my supervisor, Dr. Brian Cusado, who would be the one helping you with learning disabilities, for example, and getting accommodations. We also have the Writing Center, which is on the floor below the main floor of the library. So in what we would probably refer to as the basement. And then also on the level, we have what's called the Proctoring Center. So the Proctoring Center is where you might go for tests if you have extended time for tests. It is also if you maybe missed a test because you were ill or because you were at an athletic event, for example, your professor would schedule a time for you to go and take a test at the Proctoring Center, and they would have the test available for you and with guidelines for how long you have to complete that test. So in addition to all of these sort of physical things that we have for the Learning Commons, we also have, as I've mentioned, our peer mentors and peer tutors. Tutors help with academic content. Mentors help with more like general academic skills and strategies. And myself and other staff members, including my boss, and we have now 2 other employees that work with us. We meet with students one-on-one who maybe need just a little bit more intensive support, or maybe have really specific questions about how to study for biology, or and not just I don't understand biology, but I need to help remember all this information that I'm learning. And we also offer evening programming. So Monday nights we have programming where I bring my dog and snacks, and we talk about strategies for just being better students. And that can include time management and study skills, but also setting goals and managing procrastination. And how do you support an argument if you're writing a paper? We have lots of different topics, and we coordinate with all kinds of different people on campus. But we also have very specific programming for ESL students, where we have opportunities for creativity and community, where we learn something new about art or crafts on Monday nights as well. We invite anyone, not just international students, but any student who English is not their native language, to come and connect with other people that have similar struggles, and also a way to be creative and use creativity and art to express yourself in ways that don't require language. So that's that and more. But feel free to come find me. I'm on the main floor of the library, really close to what we call Einstein Brothers Bagels, which is, you'll probably be frequenting that place because that's where you get coffee and bagels on campus. But I'm very close to there. But we'll also talk more when you come to campus about Navigate, that app that we mentioned earlier.
And Teddy Talks too, right? Teddy Talks is going to be a secret until you get to campus, so we're gonna leave it at that for now. Thank you, Karen. Now that you have your academic, challenges and things taken care of, we also want to make sure that you're doing well as a human being. Mental health, physical health, these are very important as well, and these are important part of your success and well-being at Center, and we take those things very seriously. So here at Center, there have been many resources and investment made here to reflect those priorities to ensure that you as a Center student are going to be well, are going to be healthy. So turning to Anne, what kind of health and wellness resources are available to Center students, and how are we taking care of our students here?
Thank you, Joy. And you can see this nice slide with all the ways we think about well-being, and even broader than this. But I'm really excited to talk about this because I do think that the college has invested a lot in this part of your experience, because when you're coming here for classes, but also you're going to live here, and this will be your community. And so we have in our college, this is one of our values that we talk about. It's in our strategic plan, which means that we're always trying to work on making this even better. And we've done a lot of work over the last few years since COVID, but even before COVID, the college has been good about wanting our students to have what they need to be okay so that they can do the academic work that is here, and just to be okay as a whole person, as Joy mentioned. So one of the things that I wanted to share about were the offices where I spend most of my time, which is the counseling clinic, and there's a health clinic as well. So the counseling is mental health counseling. So if somebody struggles with depression or anxiety, or just is having a hard time adjusting to being in a new space, this is free, and they can meet with the counselor as long as it is needed. So sometimes they want to meet longer, but as long as they're needed, they can have those appointments, and it's free, and it doesn't charge any insurance. There's also a health clinic on campus, and so that is if you have the flu, or if you're not sure what you have, and this is your first time managing your own health away from either your family or just your home or your home country. It's really nice to be able to go to these spaces and have these supports on campus. And I know this is my opinion, but I also think that the people who work in both of these offices are really outstanding and are very kind and love working with college students. And so I think that if you need to go for help with them, It will be a positive experience. And the student health people you will meet soon after you arrive because they're going to help you with all of your immunization and just making sure that you have everything you need to be healthy as you start here. Um, and then also the counselors you will meet over the orientation process. And then we usually try to have a couple programs where we reach out and it's specifically for international students to get to know the counselors. So sometimes it's been a hike. Sometimes it's been a tea and snacks from people's home countries. So we just try to spend a little time making sure that you all have a chance to meet the counselors and that you feel comfortable. In addition to that, we have an office that's called Health Promotion, and this is an office that is trying to have a fun and engaging way to learn about well-being that's not a counseling appointment and that's not going to see the doctor or the nurse. And so that's programs like they've had yoga on the football field. There's a financial wellness fair where you can learn about spending money. We've had weekly hikes before in the past. It's all kinds of wellness education, and the person who's in charge of that is very good at making it fun and engaging. There's an event today for Safe Spring Break where people will learn about all the ways they can enjoy yet stay safe over spring break, and it's giving out free stuff. Like there's a big center beach towel that students can get. On top of that, we also have, of course, our Office of Religious Life and a chaplain, and he is very good at working across different faith experiences and even folks who maybe are spiritual but don't participate in a specific religious organized religion. He is a great resource and engages a lot with all of the students, but especially international students. And then also on Center's campus, we have athletic and recreation facilities. So there's a huge swimming pool, and then there's also weights. There's racquetball, ellipticals, treadmills, and so those are mostly in two centered places on campus, but also we have a couple things in the residence halls for people who are less comfortable maybe going to a big space and want to do some working out in private. So those are some of the ways that some of the resources that we have for students across the campus.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Anne. I think that was very helpful to get a sense of what is available on campus, but also the folks that are there to help students guide them through these processes of taking care of themselves. So that was helpful. Thank you, Anne. Another question for you, Anne, is for international students. By coming to the US, they are studying away from their home countries and their families. And oftentimes they are living in a different culture, learning in a new language environment, and adjusting to different lifestyle, perhaps for the first time in their lives. So how can they utilize these resources that you just mentioned to overcome some of the potential challenges that they may face while they're in college and take care of themselves?
Thank you for that, Joy Joy. Yes, if I could say one piece of advice, it would be use the resources. So right now, if you're still deciding, we hope you pick center, but if you're still deciding, you may be deciding between different size schools. And one of the thing about our school that's a smaller school is that these resources are everywhere and they're easy to access. When I talk to people in the counts who provide counseling at bigger schools, sometimes there's a wait list or sometimes students can't get in, but we don't have that here. So one of the benefits of coming to center is the accessibility of the resources. You could meet with Karen probably in the next day or two. I don't know what your all's wait's like, Karen, but in the counseling office, you could come in today and see a counselor if you needed to. And so for students, for all students, and then depending where someone's from, for international students, it might feel different to use resources. You all are clearly smart, high-achieving students because you are having success already. So that may be different than high school, where you felt like you didn't use the resource or need the resources. But here, everyone is smart, and so everyone should use the resources is the thing that I encourage students to do. We try really hard in the realms I'm talking about, but also Karen's realm and Jessica's realm. We try really hard to have it easy to access. We're always thinking about what makes a student reluctant to use this resource and how can we make it easier, whether it's just internal discomfort or they don't know how to figure out scheduling an appointment. So we're always trying to make that as easy as possible for you to access. Also, there are support people all over the place. We mentioned some, but then also in your residence hall, there's RAs, which are resident assistants. And so those are students who are helping you with your Find Your Center course. There's besides the International Student Orientation Leaders, there's also the first year mentors, which is another layer of students helping you. Your professors for all your classes are accessible and want to help you out. So there's, I haven't mentioned yet our Office of Diversity and Inclusion, which does a lot of great programming, and they're here to help you as well. And then there's also Navigate, which Karen mentioned, which is online, and because some students tell us there's so many resources and I don't know where to start. So that's our new problem. But Navigate is a good option because it's got a lot of the resources together in one place. Not quite done, Jojo. I'm sorry. You gave me a chance. I'm going to keep talking. The other thing I wanted to say is that I don't know you, but you're choosing to study abroad. So I think that with you, there's some interest in adventure or challenges or doing something new and different. And when you get here, just being here will be new and different. But I would encourage you to also try other things that might be outside of what you've tried in the past. You're doing that by coming to a different country, but also think about another activity. Maybe you're interested in learning knitting, or there's a club that's called slacklining, where they have a line between two trees and the students try to walk on the line. And that's looks like a very fun way to engage and be outside. So I think just be open. That also means doing things differently in the class. I've talked to some international students who learning to speak out and share their opinions in class felt different and new. So I think letting yourself push through some of those discomforts will be good. Last thing, and then I'll be quiet, Joy, I promise, is that I encourage you, and you will hear me say this anytime I can speak with you, that to spend a little time checking in on yourself and figuring out how you're doing and what you need. You're going to go away from your home and the culture that you're familiar with, and you're going to have lots of new ideas coming at you, whether you're at center or another school. So you just need to create in your life a little time when you're not busy studying and you're not socializing, where you can just reflect. You can either journal or go on a walk or just kind of think, and because of all the ideas and all the feelings that you're having, just a little bit of time to kind of process and be okay with yourself. And that's it. I'll stop talking now, Joy.
That's perfectly fine. I think that was great. Thank you, Anne, for sharing those. And I think I echo a lot of the things that all of you have mentioned about taking care of yourself, taking breaks, saying yes to new opportunities and new adventures. And I think that's essentially what college is, right? You're learning, but you're also learning to do a lot of new things. So all of those are great. So thank you for sharing all of that. And that pretty much takes care of the panel discussion part of this programming for today. And we are gonna turn it over to our audience for questions. So before I do that, I'm gonna stop recording. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna start.